another great edition of Bring It in the House podcast show where we spotlight musicians, entertainers, artists, and leaders. Get your meal. I'm your host, Millie Mills, and we have a great, wonderful film producer in the house tonight. She's extremely talented. Let's give it up for Selena Stewart. Hi,
Thank you. Hello.
yeah, girl, you look amazing. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. We got people trying to participate already. Aiden Marshall Court.
Oh,
That one.
Aiden.
Yeah. And then Jacayla. You recognize Jacayla? Kaylin? Kayleen? No? What about
I
Tom Banton? They want to participate tonight. But anyway, without further ado, let's get going. This is our last week, full week in the month of February in which we're celebrating Black History Month. So, we're going to be giving away just something really nice here. This is called Black and Legendary, and it's available at Target stores. Yeah, Target has a section there. With a lot of I guess you could say not swag but merchandise in honor of Black History Month. So like I said, big ups to Target. Yeah, they're doing their thing. So but the lovely and talented Selena Stewart, it is so good to have you here. Let everybody know where you're from, where you're repping.
I'm originally from Florida, Central Florida to be exact, and but I've been in New York for over 15 years. And I just moved to the DMV, Washington D.C. area within the last couple of years. So
Okay.
it's different, but I like it so far.
You like it, huh? So it's like what's different between the, I guess that's the East Coast, right?
Yes, all East Coast. Yeah. Yeah. I have no interest in moving to the West Coast, ironically.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's amazing. I'm glad that you're loving it and you're doing your thing. What high school and college did you attend?
I graduated from University of Florida. I also went to New York University and did their certificate program in filmmaking. And yeah, it was nice being there. Although I told my parents I really wanted to move to New York back when I graduated from high school,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, I ended up getting a scholarship at University of Florida, and that's where I went to school.
Smart young lady, smart. Yes. Well, you've worked in the entertainment industry now for over a decade, and so that speaks volumes. Woohoo! Congratulations on all your
Thank you.
accomplishments. Yeah, so many creatives, they start out on that career path in the entertainment field, but they don't last very long. So how does it feel for you to be able to say, hey, I've been in the business now over a decade and you're still so young?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I even though I've been in for a decade, it really doesn't like compared to a lot of people. A lot of people have been in the industry for decades, and I wish I had started a lot sooner because when I went to college, my major and I graduated was computer engineering, and my father. I wanted to do television and film when I graduated from high school and college, and my father
Mhm.
was like, nope, you're not going to make any money in television film. You need to pick a career that you can make some money in. So I liked computers, so I chose computer engineering, worked in it for a couple years, and I didn't really care for it. But when I transitioned to the television and film industry, I love it. It's like really up my alley. I feel like I have a lot more to learn in this industry. I'm an open book.
Mhm.
There's so much technology, not just the technology, how formats, how they're filming people. Like it's shifting because people interest is shifting. Back in the day, we didn't have social media when I was
Yeah,
younger. Now we have social media, so you have to, and then people's attention span is very short. So
sure.
you have to
Mhm.
intertwine that. So it's always a learning process, and I still feel like a baby in the industry.
Yeah. You still feel that way though? Like, hey, I got so much to learn still.
Yeah, and I'm always learning, trying to get up and up on things and reading trade magazines, just being up on what is new or what are they transitioning out of the industry and what are they moving in the
Mhm.
industry.
Yes, because you want to remain competitive. That's so important. That's good to
Absolutely.
yeah. So I was reading your resume. You've worked on so many major networks, including BET, MTV, True TV, TV One, ITV. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. So do you feel pretty solid in your career now with all that experience behind you? You feel pretty solid now?
uh Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of different roles that I played in all those different networks. I
Mm-hmm.
am, being in New York, all of their headquarters is right there, so it's very easy to get gig. Well, right now it's not easy, but it was pretty easy back then to get
Mm-hmm.
gigs, and you had to know somebody. But so I feel good, and it just like how they go about things was great to learn since it was at towards the beginning of my career, and now like I'm going more of an independent documentary route. So but it was good to learn and meet people and understand how they do major productions and work on things that you see on TV. And then like I was working this one show on MTV, and it was for it was like a Jersey Shore, but it was for Staten Island, and that didn't get greenlit. Like they did all that filming and it never went to air, which is crazy. So you learn how like yeah, you get your hopes up. You could be a star in this, or it could go somewhere, or it could flop. So they never aired it. But it was just interesting being a part of that process and seeing how they do it.
Yeah, yeah, getting that experience. Yeah, I know that was pretty interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I've been told that sometimes it was someone I just read recently. It was something about maybe I shouldn't even mention it, but it was some film that Halle Berry is working on, and they decided not to go forward with it. So um, I don't know, after they had already started production. So
Not really.
I'm
It,
familiar with that. Yeah. So
that happens a lot in the industry, unfortunately. So, I forgot this famous actress who got they wanted her to be on this major film. They gave her this big lucrative deal, and then so she went to celebrate and went to this. I think she went to I forgot where she went on vacation, and then she came back and found out like, oh, we don't want you in the film anymore. So it's just sometimes it can be cold hearted like that, and the industry is just
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Well, it's like a gamble, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you
it
were,
is. Really
yeah, I see. Yeah. But you're very strong in the industry, and you've worked with some heavy hitters. When it comes to directors, such as the HBO directory, I mean, documentary director, a lot of D's there. Brent Owens, you worked with him. So, talk to us about that. What was that experience like for you?
That was also learning a great experience. I felt like I was still kind of green. I did not work with him on the. He did a lot of documentaries on prostitution in the Bronx. I'm not going to say the names because it's like kind of provocative, but he's known for those. But at the time I was working for him, we had started uh, production, pre-production, and production on this film, and it was about this lady in another country. I think she was in Mexico. She did not have arms. She did not have legs. So she painted with her mouth. So she had a toothbrush. I mean, not toothbrush, paintbrush in her mouth.
Paintbrush.
And yeah, paintbrush. And that's how she painted her portraits. And if you see these are like oh so beautiful. Even if someone had painted by the hand, when you see her artwork, it was like and how independent she was. So he was doing a documentary on her at the time that I was working with him, which was really just motivating and such an inspiration to see.
I know. I can imagine because with that. kind of seemed like would be a setback, but she took it and made it into something positive. She still continued to go forward with her gifts and talents. So that's very motivating.
Yeah,
Very.
she's and she's living on her own now. She was living with her mother who took care of her, but imagine living like we'll, complain. I'll
Mhm.
complain with you not having one leg, so no limbs at all, and just being able to get through life is just that was just such an inspiring story to me. Um,
Yes, yes, I agree. And now back to your producing. I'm just because I wanted to do that at one time, so that's why I love hearing hearing your about your work. So you are one of the producers for the film that's going to be released real soon here, Trafficked Survival Stories, right? It was actually released. Was it last November?
yeah, November of last year. Yes, it was just
Last year.
released.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Um,
Um,
you know what? It was so funny because the director, Michael Pickney, he wanted to do a series at first, then he changed his mind and he was like, let's do a documentary. And then, so he had like this trailer he kind of put together. It wasn't complete. And I
mhm,
had shared it with my cousin in Georgia and my younger cousin. I'm also her mentor as well. And
mhm,
just from watching that little bit, she realized that she was potentially being recruited by this lady in the grocery store for sex trafficking. And it blew me away when we start unpacking all the steps this lady took, which to me was it was very scary, but very enlightening to know that, you know, like the tactics they use, because she's a lot younger woman, and
mhm.
that's who they target. She's still a frame. She'll, probably make a good candidate. Um,
Yes.
it was just that like blew my mind. So that's why like I really am getting the word out for the documentary. It's very powerful. That was just a trailer that impacted her life. So imagine watching the actual documentary and
Yes.
learning from these women who were trafficked.
Okay, let's take a look at that trailer, everybody. This is great.
Human trafficking can look completely different when you look across the globe. Even in America, there's been more than 25 types of human trafficking that have been identified. I was introduced to him through a mutual friend.
Who is?
It's the girl I was telling him about.
You ain't telling she was that fine. I need you to make this money for us, all right?
I've heard stories about you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do.
She tried to make an escape and went to go run, and they shot her in our living room. I called one of the girls and I just said, "Hey, please don't hang up on me. I just need a place to stay for tonight, and then I'll be out of your hair. I'll make some money and then I'll be gone." And she was like, "Okay, send me a picture with 2 fingers. Send me a picture of you touching your nose." You know we got the power, right? That cute thing in between your legs? It's the great equalizer.
I live in a world where until I was 36 years old, I was nothing more than currency. The only 2 avenues for my life at this point is being a prostitute or being dead, because I'm gonna kill her and then I'm gonna kill myself. Choked her into the couch.
You ain't going nowhere till I say you are.
Hurting me.
And if you keep it up, it's gonna get worse.
Wanna go home? Where's home, baby?
The relationship between victims and law enforcement is horrible. It's like Tom and Jerry. I mean, we're enemies.
I'm gonna need you to work on yourself because we got to get back to this money.
So the women that are being trafficked by the same man are actually called wife-in-laws, is what we call them, or wifey. And so that means that you have the same pimp or same trafficker.
Wow. Ooh. And I mean, we can catch it on Tubi TV, right?
Yeah, so you can go to Tubi TV and you could just do a search for trafficked survivor stories, and it will come up. You'll see, if you looked at the flyer for the show, you'll see the image, and you can watch it there.
Okay. Yeah, because you had shared that with me as well. So, how long did it take to put that together?
Well, it was a process because it started as it was several years, but typically, like, he wanted to do a television series at first, and then that didn't fall through at that moment. So he decided to use those pieces and make a documentary. And then, so I would say less than 2 years for the process.
Yeah. That's not too bad. Yeah. We'd like to take a moment to recognize everybody tuning in. Thank you so much, Omar. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, Ulysses. Thank you so much. Hey, Robert. Everybody tuning in, watching. Thank you so much. This is great. This is really good. Yeah, we have the lovely and talented film producer, Selena Stewart, in the house. She's sharing with us, information about the film that she's worked on and had experience with. You guys recently, you were recipients of an Excellence Award. You want to tell us about that? You picked it up at the LGBTQ Unbordered International Film Festival?
Yes. Yeah, so the other film that I was executive producer on was, it's called Serve with Pride. Mm-hmm. And it's right now at the film festival circuit, so you won't find that online. But you have the trailer, and that was the first award we won, is the Excellence Award at LGBTQ Unbordered Film Festival. So we're really happy about that. These veterans, they served during the Don't Ask, Don't Tell era, and they had to keep the fact of their sexual orientation to themselves. But yet still made some major accomplishments. And so we're highlighting that in the documentary. It's really good. And definitely when it comes out, definitely check it out. Yeah, it's a good film as well.
Okay. And how will they be able to catch it? Is that on Tubi, Netflix?
It will likely, since at the film festival circuit, we're going to look for a distribution deal. Mm-hmm. But if that doesn't go through, it will probably be on Tubi. We'll just have to see, because it's going to be in the film festival circuit for about 6-7 months. But the trailer is available now.
Yes, and that's Serve with Pride, right? Well, you managed to get a clip, so let's see if we can pull that up right quick.
According to the military in 1977, there no homosexuals existed. It's quite the opposite.
For the first 25 years of my career, my sexual orientation, it was who I was. I had to keep that part of my career. My sexual orientation, it was who I was. I had to keep that part of my life secret.
For most of my military career, I was inside of this box in which I couldn't come out.
I was always afraid of being outed. I just never knew who to really trust.
There was no don't ask, don't tell. You served it, you suffered it. It was don't talk about it or you can be dishonorably discharged.
I was treated differently due to my sexual orientation, but it didn't deter me from what I needed to get done either.
Why did I continue to serve in an organization that didn't want me? And I have the same reason I did that a lot of people have. It's because it's a privilege to serve your country.
the skills and the intelligence and the intellect and the ideas that gay, trans, bisexual, lesbian individuals bring to the table are important, and they move the national security ball forward.
On September 20th, I was in Afghanistan. It was like the weight of the world had been lifted off of my shoulders, because everything today changed for me, but nothing really changed for the Army, because we were there already.
This is my first time telling my story, and how does it feel? It feels healing.
Diversity makes us stronger, but the work isn't done yet.
I have no problem being the only piece of pepper in the sea of salt, because somebody needs a little spice.
Oh. All right. Woo.
Thank you.
Yeah, how you feel about that? How you feel about your work when you see it from this end? Do you get a little melancholy, just a little, just?
I feel really good because I'm supporting people and getting their voice heard. These people, doesn't matter what their sexual orientation is, and it's just unfortunate they had to serve during times such as that, and they had to keep it a secret, or they can get dishonorable discharge. It's really messed up, but yet they still triumphed. They still made so many amazing accomplishments, and so we're telling their story in this documentary, and just when we were filming, and I'm like watching the interviews, listening, I'm just like, I had ordered food and I was like, man, I don't even want to eat. Like, I just want to listen to this interview. Like, it's so good. And it's just so inspiring as well. And I just love hearing each and every one's story on the film.
That's so beautiful. And speaking of hearing some, everyone's voice, having that opportunity to be heard, you started an organization, Stewart Creatives. And of course, that's pretty much what your mission is about, providing that platform, that opportunity for voices to be heard. Please elaborate a little bit and tell us about the organization.
Yeah, so my production company is called Stewart Creative, and the website is stewartcreativellc.com, STEWART creativellc.com. And my thing is, when I grew up, I grew up in the era where children are seen but not heard. So like my entire life, not until my adulthood, like did I learn to have a voice. Like people would be like, Selena, hey, we want you to work on this one. What's your rate? And I couldn't articulate it. Like it's crazy because I should be able to say something, but I was like, nothing. Like, so I had to first understand my value, understand that my voice, just like everyone else, needs to be heard. And your voice is very important. So that is the mission and vision for my production company, is to do documentaries where we allow and we're avenue for people to get their voice heard. Because I feel like sometimes I just like to sit and just listen to people and hear their story, because people have everybody grew up differently. Everybody has an important and beautiful story to share that you know nothing about. So I could just sit for hours and just listen to somebody talk. And so, and that was the birth of the documentary, because my struggle, not until my adulthood, finally having a voice and making sure that other people get their story heard as well.
Mm-hmm. And that is so important. That's outstanding. I love your mission. And would you say that being shy can sometimes be a hindrance to an individual's ability to really reach their potential, their true potential in life? Would you agree?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I was like ridiculously shy. And then in the industry, I'm used to being behind the camera, not in front of the camera. So, that shyness too, but I had to push past it and be like, you know what? We had to toughen up, buttercup. Like, it had to get in front of the camera, because I have to reach people. I have to get out there. So I know when to switch it off and be like, okay, networking events, I am a social butterfly. I'll walk up to people, but deep down inside, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so shy. So yeah, I know when to turn it off, and I really love to support people in finding their voice and hearing their voice.
Yeah, and I can see that. Yeah, because we talked a good while last night. We had a good time.
About hearing your story too, you know.
Yeah, we had a good time. Yeah, and when we get off the line, I want to maybe talk to you about because I want to do a documentary. So
really, okay,
yes,
this is news to me. I didn't know that. Okay.
yes. I either want to do a documentary or turn my book into some kind of film, a movie, the book that I published some years ago. So yeah, we'll have to talk off camera. But yeah.
Yes, I would love to.
So what do you feel was the turning point, Selena, for you, to help bring you out of your shell into your career path where you were able to flourish?
What was the turning point for me?
Yes.
It's so funny because I'm also a life coach as well. So I did a life coaching program, and a part of that program, it's like, it's so easy to Google or look up advice and give it to people, but we had to experience it. We had to be our own example. We had to go through it. And the program is with, I trained with Iyanla Vanzant, and she made you go through it. And so, so when I speak from experience. I don't just Google and here's the information for you. I know firsthand, and that was the point of the program. So I had to face my demons, and I had to face the fact of that was I didn't even know it until I went through the program that was the issue of not being able to have a voice or not speaking my voice. And then I learned to speak up for myself a lot. A lot of things happened in my life that supported me and opening up, like, you better speak. Like, you better speak out, you better talk. So I was pushed to the forefront with that. All of that really supported me in finding my voice.
Well, that's good, and I'm glad to see you overcome it, because sometimes a lot of us we never quite overcome it. We'll battle with it. But as long as we, I feel like as long as you go to God about it, and He'll help you. He'll help you in those areas where we fall short. Everybody, this is the lovely Selena Stewart. I mean, you've worked with so many people. Okay, the first time on the set, and I know we didn't go over this, but I'm just curious, when you were working on the set as far like, trafficking, because you were saying that you wanted to elaborate on that film a little bit more. So kind of tell us, what your role is, how as a producer, because some of us don't understand the difference between a producer and a director. I know the director called the shots, right? Pretty much.
Right. And it's so funny. And that's what I learned, like at MIU, that producer has actually more leverage than the director, with the with the cameras, with the direction of the film, and the producer. There's so many, like, from budget to writing to so many roles. It just depends on the project that is played. So I haven't always been producer. I've had many different roles in the film and television industry. I've worked in television as well. And the two mediums are different, and like what a producer does for television versus for film, or even independent film, is slightly different but similar. So I don't know, but I'm able to use my background and different. And if it's something I don't know, because when I was sick of having like the lower positions, like and I was afraid to be a producer because I was like, I don't know everything. But you just have to jump. You just have to take that faith and just do it and learn as you go. So no, that's why I say I don't know everything. I'm still learning like stuff, and whatever I don't know, trust me, I am getting better and better every day at what I don't know. So it's the process, you know.
Amen. Yeah, time is just about up. So any last words of encouragement before we wrap it up?
Just be and do what represents you. When I started out in the industry, anything that was film television, I was like, I want to be on it. And then not until I did like a motivational, like speaking to these high school people, they're just like, oh, you worked on that? Like, I was like, okay, I need to be more mindful of the projects that I work on. So don't make it just about money. Work on what represents you as well, that you're passionate about, and keep going forward. Whether you know everything or not, it's not about knowing everything, because you have the capacity to learn what you need to learn, and keep going with it.
That's right. I saw a sign somewhere that said leap and the net will appear. And I never
I like that.
I love it. Yeah. Because you just got to take that leap, and you just got to have the faith that you're gonna get, God's going to catch you. You're going to land somewhere.
It's scary, but yeah, trust me. When I left corporate, because I was in cushy corporate job, I took that leap to go to television and film, So
yeah. And then you're brave. You're very brave. We're proud of you. Congratulations again. This is the lovely Selena Stewart. You're very welcome. And guys, call us on 469-284-9922. I'm going to take the third person to get through the lines, get this history cup for Black History Month. It's called Black and Legendary, and I picked it up from Target. So we got a couple of these. So just call that number, 469-284-9922. We've had a great time. Anything else, Selena, before we go?
No, I don't want to hold people long. I really appreciate everyone who came, and I really appreciate being on the show. So thank you for inviting me. I'm very humbled and appreciative.
You're very welcome. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to Bring It in the House.